Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
And this is a Board Game Rundown, and today we are going to do a Kickstarter preview for Vigilante, Hidden Motives. So we have already covered Vigilante before. It is a,
It's a card game.
it's a tableau building,
Hand management.
social deduction
Yeah.
game. You're running a group of superheroes, and you're either a mastermind, you could be like a bad guy or a good guy, or neutral. Jinx.
I like the neutrals.
Yeah.
And then basically you've got your own objective based on what character you are. Hidden Motives really spices this game up. It gives you layers. Which are going to give everyone an extra power and ability. So it's got like an ongoing sort of passive action, and then it's got an action that will cost an energy to use. It also gives you it also gives you different scenarios. We played the free will scenario where everybody could just kind of pick. You got like 3 identities to choose from. So normally what will happen is, depending on the scenario, it'll tell you how many good and bad guys and neutral people to deal out. And then you just have that many per player.
In the mix.
And in the mix, and you hand them all out, kind of like a werewolf or sort of thing.
Yeah. Don't compare this
In this one, it was everybody, in the scenario we played, everybody got 3.
Right.
And we got to choose one. So there was the possibility where we would all be on the same team, which is what happened.
It is, actually. Well, Spencer got to choose.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spencer chose at the end, and he chose bad guys.
Because I really didn't have a choice.
He was, yeah, it's just Bob and I were working towards different objectives. I thought for sure Bob was a good guy because he kept trying to jail so many bad guys.
Yeah, because I was the mastermind, and I wanted all the guys jailed up. Well, I needed to have 9. That was tough. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when people are sabotaging you.
Yeah.
I thought you and Spencer were good guys for sure.
Nope.
I have a secret lab where I put parasites on people.
Yeah.
I'm a good guy?
It's a good guy thing.
Well, you're using that to control the bad guy population.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
saying and neutering your pets.
This is a fantastic card. I get to put parasites. It does damage to heroes, and I get to draw cards for every parasite out there. But
Yeah.
it also
So
draws
strong.
a lot of hate.
So, again, just for a refresher, you're going to have cards. You're going to start with cards from the city deck. They have influence, but you can also play these cards for potentially one-time use abilities. You can equip them, or they could be reactionary cards, ambush cards.
Multi-purpose?
Right? Yes. So then you've got heroes. You're going to buy them, and when you get them, you're going to equip them or put them in one of your slots, 1, 2, 3, or 4, because then when you choose to fight a villain, they have this nice little grid that tells you where they attack and how much damage they do to each location.
That's a cool
So
system.
you might luck out and have them hit a spot where you
don't have somebody.
anybody.
Yeah.
Right. And Bob, even for a little while at least, had a character that could shift
To the open, to
an open spot.
You're like, oh, you're attacking me here? Whoop, I'm over here. Yeah.
So, which again makes it interesting because then
A little bit of spatial puzzling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then maybe he doesn't. As long as he's got that hero in play, he doesn't want to have all of his.
Right. I
slots
wanted to
filled
keep
up.
an empty spot just to try to move them out of the way if I could.
Right, right. And so this game does a lot of really interesting things that I already like. And so Hidden Motives, again, more heroes and to recruit.
Yep.
There are more cards that go, I believe, in the city deck.
Yep.
New villains, level 1, 2, and 3 that you can encounter. New scenarios. New starting vigilantes, which we all use specifically.
Yep.
Like I just basically gave everybody one of the ones out of Hidden Motives.
Yeah.
And then the other ones we kind of had a mix and match of stuff, so we would encounter new things. And so that's what this is going to bring to the table, essentially. So what did you think about Hidden Motives and Vigilante? You can go over Vigilante.
Oh, yeah.
too.
One of my favorite things about Vigilante, I mean, like, there's that social deduction aspect, and then if you guys watch the show a lot, you know I'm not a huge fan of social deduction, but there's a lot more game here besides just the social deduction part. You're not necessarily trying to figure out, like, the one person you're trying to kill. You're trying to work towards your own objective. And, yeah, they can be counter against each other sometimes. But, like, the fact that there's 2 decks that you get to draw your cards from is super neat. So, like, the basic deck, the city deck, you're grabbing those, and they have, like, some basic things like med packs and some weapons and things like that, but they tend to have a higher influence value, and the influence is what you're going to use to recruit people. But once you start recruiting people and defeating guys, you can go to the agency, because once you've jailed 3 villains, you can take cards from the agency, and they have a lower influence value, so you're not going to use them to recruit so much, but you're going to get a much more powerful effect out of them. And it's really neat how there's those 2 decks, and you can kind of work back and forth between them depending on what you're looking for. And as far as the hidden motives, I'm a huge fan of asymmetrical powers. They all add, there's a stack of them. What is there, like 15 or so? Like a bunch of them. And they all have like different abilities on there. Looking through them, like the 2 that I had, one of them didn't seem nearly as powerful. I'm glad I went with the one I did, and especially considering the one that Spencer had, I'm really glad I went with the one I did, because the other one seemed slightly underpowered. But I don't know until I played it. I'm sure there's probably something in there that they found balance that it made it work. But the other handy thing is on the back side is it has little information, and depending on whether you're a good guy, neutral, or evil, it gives you some tips and tricks on like things you should try to do in what part of the game to try to be more effective at it and whatnot. And I think that's super helpful. Anytime you get a helpful player aid like that can give new players like some guidance on what they should do, it's always appreciated.
And again, the player screens, tons of wealth of information on the player screens.
Yeah, like that meta of the level 1 characters have this kind of strength, the level 2 characters have this. So like how much power you need to have before you could even attempt to try to fight those guys, and that's super helpful. Yeah,
and a list of actions you can do.
Yes, and the list of actions you can do, which is awesome.
Always
really
really
always
it
appreciated.
also breaks down how many of the different kinds of cards are in each deck.
Yes,
I really liked that. It was nice.
Yep. But no, yeah, Vigilante is a great game. It's like I said, one of the few social deduction games that I don't mind playing. There's a bunch of different scenarios that you get to choose from to try to play. But yeah, if you like hand management and you like doing like superhero stuff and equipping people and trying to deduce like, well, are they trying to jail more people, or are they just trying to jail certain types of people, like things like that, like it's great. And then just the expansion just adds more, so it's just more of what you'd like.
It's just more goodness. And you could even, if you didn't want to do like
if you don't want to
free
add
will, you could still just do
basic scenarios with some of the newer
with
stuff.
the layers.
And the cards do have like a small little icon on the bottom, so if you want to pull some of them out, you can pull them out and not use them, which I'm not sure why you would want to, but
now
having that option there.
This is a prototype,
nice.
But I assume that's carrying
then I'd be like,
over.
that's useful. Let's get that out of there.
Yeah, but I would
Probably
assume
not.
that's carrying over. Spencer, what about you?
So this is a social deduction game that if you play it right, you don't really have to worry about the social deduction part, except when you start adding in the Vigilante hidden motives part, that might be a little bit more important. Like his needed heroes to lose, or the good guys to lose. And I mean, combined, you guys, if I was a good guy, I would be doomed.
Sure.
So this one really, it brings more of that needing
more
to figure it out.
That,
more importance into it. I also, one of the drawbacks that I've had with the original, just the base game, is not enough card draw, but it seems the layers kind of make up for that.
And give you more card draw.
It gives you more card draw and more abilities. And
him.
Yeah.
But mine manipulated the market, so I wasn't drawing more cards, but I was getting to see more cards, so that helped.
Yeah, and again, right, like a market refresh is always a nice thing.
Yes.
Always a nice thing to have in a game.
Yeah.
And I mean, you even had a card that every time a mercenary came out, he healed. So you're just refreshing and trying to heal him up all the time. Yep. Really nice. I very much liked what the heroes that I had that were new, what they did. And my ability, the replica, is weird. It's cool. It's very cool.
Basically, on the last turn, he had to choose somebody else. And he was going to copy their win condition, essentially.
He's like, who's been doing good this game?
So I have to try to be either good or evil to both of them at about the same rate before I figure out who is ahead and who I want to try. It was pretty cool. We did lose, but we did.
But good didn't win, so
good did not win.
It's kind of a win for evil.
Yeah.
Good, evil. It's really a matter of perspective.
But no, I enjoyed it a lot.
I was, No, this game's really fun. I really liked Vigilante the first time around.
The base,
Oh yeah.
I think it's a great game. I love the art. I love the concept. I love the feel of it. It's just fun to play. The turns are fast. And you just kind of rock and roll. You go. And then, again, hidden motives with the layers and the different things that it adds. It's just more goodness. And it almost really fits kind of seamlessly into the game. Like, it's, like,
there's this new other board and this new other thing.
Yeah. Because really what you could do is, depending on who you're playing with, you just pick and choose what scenario you want, and then you go from there, right? So the other characters, the other identities, you could just slide in or out if you don't like that one or shouldn't use that one, things like that.
Right.
Who cares?
It might be a little tricky for someone to understand, kind of pull it out for the first game.
Right. But then after, if it's not your first game, it can all just go in there and you could rando pick and have a great time. So I really did appreciate the way that this seamlessly goes in. I didn't feel like it added a bunch of new rules. I don't think it added anything to the playtime, because it was really just, okay, how do the layers work? Okay, I got it. I mean, they're really pretty straightforward. I mean, they really are.
Yep.
If you understand how to play the game, you understand how the layers work.
Yeah.
Because the iconography is good. It's intuitive. It's
It
very
lets you know.
smooth.
I like how it's like there's the constant thing going on, and then the things that take an action have that lightning bolt, because you get these things that represent how many actions you get each turn. So when you take the action, we were just putting it right on there, so you used your once per round action on it, and then it's done. Yeah, it's super intuitive.
I mean, we have a rule sheet here, but did we really need to even
No,
reference
barely.
it?
I think we referenced
Barely.
it.
There was some rules
something
to
on the
it.
setup I think we looked at.
Yeah,
and that
that's
was
about
about
it.
it.
And there's like some card clarifications for the new cards.
Yeah.
Now, again, prototype. So I don't know what the actual thing will look like, but what we had was more than adequate
Right.
to
Oh, yeah.
get us
Yeah.
going.
I don't see them going backwards with it.
Yeah.
No.
Reed, don't do that.
Don't do that.
But no, man, just really good and a fun excuse to just get this off the shelf and play it again.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
And get it back into this world a little bit. So overall, guys, recommend or not recommend for Hidden Motives?
I would check it out. If you have Vigilante, you definitely want to add the Hidden Motives to it. And if you haven't, you want to check Vigilante out, because it's a fun little hand management game that's fun.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Like there's
Not really.
there's not another game in my collection that does what Vigilante does, which is really nice, right?
Right.
Because there are times where it's like, oh, this game does kind of replace this game. I don't really need it anymore. And there's times where it's like, no, I like both. I always want to have both. But this game is unique. Like, I want to have it because there just aren't other games like this.
Yeah, and the damage thing, I've never seen it where you have to figure out the damage that's going on the tableau. Yeah, it's such a good one, but I would definitely get the Hidden Motives. I want to play with all the layers.
Well, that's the thing is now, though, like, I don't know that I would play this without the layers. I
Yeah,
think I would
absolutely.
always just have
Those
the layers.
layers
in.
are great.
Always just have the layers in, which to me is just a really good sign of an expansion.
Yeah, that's a good sign of a good expansion. It's something that you don't want to take out. You want to keep playing.
Yeah, and it doesn't
Doesn't complicate it.
It doesn't complicate it to where it's like, well, we got new people. I'm not going to mess with layers. No,
They go in.
no, you're going in.
Yeah.
So very high recommend for me.
Yep.
Spencer?
Absolutely recommend it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So overall, man, just bang up job, really good. If any of this was useful to you, I would really, if you haven't heard of Vigilante or you didn't back it the first time around, I would really look at it.
Yeah.
If any of this sounds interesting.
Check out our earlier video on it. We go a little more in depth.
Yeah. Man, that was a minute ago.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. Don't pay any attention to the mics we were using. These are much
Yeah,
better.
these are much better. And my voice is garbage because I was at a football game yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah. Check out Vigilante. Super good. Hidden Motives. Just a little bit of seasoning in there, right? Make it even better.
Yeah.
Without overcomplicating it.
Yeah.
So big fan of this. Really enjoyed it. Anything else, boys?
Nope. That's it.
All right. If you found this video useful, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, liking, commenting, doing all those things. And we do have a Patreon if you want to support the show in other ways. And we're working on extra content that will provide you. But at the very least, leave us a comment. If you play Vigilante, let us know. Let us know. I love some of the hero names.
Oh, yeah.
That-
Jacques
or-
Hammer.
Yeah. There's great little jokes
Uh-huh.
in there and everything. So let us know what some of your favorite Easter eggs are in there. And if you didn't like the video, let us know too. What can we do better?
That's my favorite Easter egg on the back of his screen right there.
Yeah. Dante's.
Dante's
Quick
quick
stop.
stop. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes, we are open.
We are. I assure you.
I assure you we are open.
Yes.
Yes. All right, boys. For the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob.
Spencer.
We'll see you next time.